So when people meet me, they say to me, "You're so inspiring," or "I feel really uplifted when I'm around you or talking to you. You're so passionate." But what people don't see is the struggle and the journey it took for me to get to where I am now. And for me to inspire you, I've had to inspire myself. I said this in the other episode, right? So when people ask me what I do and I say I'm a medium, I know that I am more than a medium. I'm not just a medium. And I'll say I'm a mindset coach. But there are so many things that I do, but ultimately they are just qualifications and trainings, modalities that I have educated myself in with one purpose. And the purpose is to connect you to you. This journey, the work that I do, it's not a job. I left my corporate world, the success of a corporate world, and I didn't leave it because I didn't like it. I loved it. I loved being in quality, in risk management, in audit. I absolutely loved it with a passion. But when the door opens to changing your life and learning a whole bunch of new skills and growing who you are, I don't think a lot of people get that chance to be able to work your passion and to be able to, for example, do what I do. Like, I know that not everybody has to make money from what they do, what they're passionate about. But if you get the opportunity to make money from what you're passionate about, and it's not about the money, I'm talking about making a living. It takes it from being a job to your passion, you know? I think that is a gift in itself. So if you ever have the opportunity, or if you're weighing up in your mind right now, should I do this? Can I make money from it? Can I make this work? I can tell you, because I'm there, if you have a passion and it lights you up and there is nothing in the world that you would, do or stop doing it, and you would wake up at 3 a.m. and go do more of it, that's your thing. And not everybody has the, I don't know what the word is I'm looking for. Not everybody gets to do that in their life. So if you're one of those lucky ones, know that it's your thing. If it lights you up, it's definitely your thing. And so when people ask me, what do I do? I'm more than a medium. I'm more than a coach. I'm more than a healer. I'm more than an end-of-life doula. I'm more than this, that. You can list off all of the qualifications that I have, but they're not so that I can go be a yoga teacher, or I can go be an end-of-life doula, or I can just go be a numerologist, so I can do that. I know I look at everything holistically. So when I'm working with somebody, I look at the whole of the person's being, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, physically, and beyond that. So I want to pull back the curtain today on my work, on my mission, and why I do what I do. Why I do what I do. Because it's time for you to know what's behind the curtain. So I didn't wake up one day and go, I'm going to be a medium. When I was a kid, I wanted to be an air host. I wanted to be cabin crew, like crazy, right? I still, every time I'm on a plane, I'm like, I wonder if I can still do that. I'd love to give it a go. But I certainly didn't wake up saying, I want to be a medium. I certainly didn't have anything figured out. I was just winging it. And even when I left school and I went to uni, I went straight to TAFE to explore topics because I didn't want to commit to a degree and then be stuck in it. So my degree's in business, my master's is in management. And the thing with business degrees is you get this variety, and for me, that's variety is so exciting, because I'm a Gemini as well. So I'm an air sign. So I need variety. Otherwise, I'm bored to tears. So in the same way that in my life, I want to have that variety, but I didn't have it figured out. I still don't have it figured out. Well, technically that's not true. But the whole journey started with a question, and the question was this: there's got to be more to life than this. There's got to be more than this. And there sure as hell is, because we have so many potentials and opportunities, but if you're not tuned into them, you're never going to reach them. I've made mistakes. I've doubted myself. I've spent so much money on trainings and events that were just crap. I've procrastinated. I've been stuck in fear. And it didn't stop me from making a difference, because one thing I learned was the difference that I make is not to the person outside of me. I had to make a difference to myself. And if I couldn't make a difference to myself, I was sure as hell not going to make a difference to anybody I was going to work with. So I know I've shared my story already of feeling inspired and being inspired, and it's the same thing. And I have a big belief, and I say this when I'm working. If you hear me, comment and let me know that you've heard me say this, because I say this all the time in events, that it starts with you. If I can do it, you can do it. And that is the mantra that formed the basis of my work. I have this belief, right, that as human beings, we are incredibly powerful. We have so much potential, and it's tapping into that potential that helps us to shine. And it opens up doorways and pathways. And if we are aligned to our intuition, and we develop our intuition, which is your compass, your North Star, your inner guide, that part of you will show you the way. And that, I know as a child, was super strong for me, and wasn't perfect all the time by any means. I don't want you to think that I was this little enlightened little child running around, ducking and diving through life. I certainly wasn't. But I followed it so many times that then I believed it was going to always be there for me, and it was. And it's like I say all the time, it's a muscle. It's a muscle you've got to build, and you've got to keep using. It's easy to talk about success, but it's hard to talk about where you failed, or where you sacrificed things, or where you made mistakes, and where you didn't want to get up. The late nights that I've had, the sleepless nights I've had, worrying about what will people think, or what if this happens, where I've doubted myself so much, and then just done it. Eventually I did it. And I keep going because I know that somewhere out there, there's at least one person that's going to take this on board. If there's one person, and I know that there's going to be one person, because I have belief and faith in that maybe it's you that needs to hear this. Because I believe that you can change anything, but the change starts with you. And it takes one small steps. And I've seen what happens when people commit to real change. And I know the hardships that I've been through, and the struggles, and the lack of belief, and oh my God, And I still do stuff. So I don't want you to think that I don't make mistakes, because I still do. But it's the ability to get up and pivot. And I don't know if you've seen Friends, but I am a massive Friends fan. Like my family, we just live and quote Friends, right? So if you haven't seen, I don't know which series it is, an episode, but if you haven't seen the one where Rachel, Ross and Chandler are taking Ross's couch up the stairs, and it's the pivot one, watch the episode. You'll be like, just Google it, but it is the funniest thing, right? So pivot and pivoting out of the crap that you're in and the challenges that you'll face is one of the biggest skills that you can learn, and pivot allows you to just make a move. It's like life is like a game of chess. You just got to move out of a position that you're in. And whilst it might be a short-term strategy, always have the mission at the end, at the forefront of your mind, but know that that's your end goal. And you know what I learned about vision and mission is that it changes over your life. Once you get to a point where, we work in cycles, right? So this is the biggest thing that I think people don't understand, is that life is like a season, it's a cycle. So your cycles of life, in your 20s and your 30s and your 40s and onwards, they change, and we have different priorities in each of those stages of life. And so your vision and mission is going to be different in your 20s to what it's going to be in your 40s. And this is the other thing that I wish somebody had told me, man, is those visions and missions don't happen like in a year. It takes like a 10-year season for it to eventuate. And you will know this, right? If you're in your 30s, your primary goal for a woman is generally, I want to get married and have babies. And that's DNA, that's genetics, that's how we're wired, with our hormones and our physical. And this is not a generalization, so I don't want to offend anybody. But in your 30s, that's when we're looking for a partner, we're looking to, make that family. We're leaving our family of origin. We're establishing ourselves into the world through our career, through work. We meet somebody, we settle down, we start having babies, and then it's baby rearing time. And eventually those babies are going to move home. So whatever stage of life you're in, I want you to ask yourself, what is my current stage? Have I done those things? Or, is it that I want to work for this many years? And we know, well, you might not know, but the stage, the pattern that we have, the trend right now is that women are not having babies in their 30s, they're having babies later. This has been going on for a number of years. So because women want to experience more, we're working more, right? So we're in the workforce, we're more, we are out of all of the genders, educating ourselves and qualifying ourselves. We're setting up businesses. So the number of women in business at home is a lot bigger. So we've entered this workforce, but we're also dominating like education and qualifications. And we're also dominating things like women working in business because we're working around our kids being at school. And so part-time, full-time, whatever it is, you're still in the workforce, right? And so we've got all these opportunities. And then there's a lot of women, like now that traveling is so much easier, for example, and working overseas or online. So that all these opportunities are accessible to us that weren't, say, 20 years ago, 15 years ago, to the extent that they are now, and the ease of it. So people have different mission and vision according to their age as well, according to their cycle of life. And think about the cycle that you're in now. What is your mission and vision for you? Not your family, not your partner, not your kids, nothing. It's just you, because you came into this world alone and you will go alone, my friend. And if you don't have a vision and a mission for you, what do you want your achievements to be? And what do you want your successes to be? What do you want to try that you haven't done before? It could be anything. It doesn't have to be huge. It can be doing a workshop in something. It could be learning how to do something. It could be anything. And my mission from the time that I pieced together why I'm doing what I'm doing, and I've written it down, and I probably will share it in the socials in conjunction with this episode. And I wrote it down when I felt deeply connected to finding my purpose. And my purpose is to connect others to their mind, body, and spirit so that they too can go and uplift others. Because I feel that connection with myself. And I say, if I can do it, you can do it. And I would want you to feel the same, because that is where your power is, your self-belief, your self-trust, your alignment, your intuition, your mission, purpose, path. Everything falls out of that alignment and that connection. And that's where the beauty is, the beauty and the wonderment of exploring you. And I do this because I want you to explore that transformation and deep connection and relationship that you can have with yourself, to know everything about you, all of your nuances, all of the things that you despise, all of the things that you feel that you failed, all the things that you're afraid of. Better for you to be aware of them than for life to show you that in a harsh way. And I've seen what happens when people really commit to growing and changing and learning. And the learning comes through your own growth and transformation. And that's what life is about. So if the work has impacted you, share it. Tell a friend. And if this episode has triggered something in you to help you think about your mission and vision. We're not talking about purpose. I'm talking about your mission and vision. And if it's triggered the thought about your cycle, let me know. Leave a comment. Tell a friend. Share it. And remember, this isn't just about my journey. These episodes are about your journey, our journey. And life is an incredible adventure. It's magical. And the more that we share the nuances and the things that we're afraid of and the things that inspire us, you don't know how it's going to land with somebody. So I hope that this landed with you today with the thought of knowing your mission and knowing your vision. If this resonated, don't just keep it to yourself. Let's keep the conversation going. You can catch me on Instagram at The Corporate Medium and tell me what hit home for you and what resonated. If you've got a story to share or a topic you want me to cover, let me know. And hey, before you go, subscribe, follow, leave a review, and share this with someone who needs it. I'll see you next time.